It is a pleasure to welcome a fellow Coloradan and constituent, Mark Eagleton, to the committee. Mr. Eagleton is a managing member of the Egg and I restaurant in Arvada, Colorado. In addition, he serves on the state board of the Colorado Restaurant Association. Outside of his business, Mr. Eagleton serves as a volunteer Jefferson County Reserve Deputy Sheriff. He and his wife Sandy have been foster parents to a total of 38 children. Welcome to the committee, Mr. Eagleton. We look forward to hearing your testimony.
Colorado Congressman Scott Tipton and my Colorado Representative Mike Coffman and members of the House and Small Business Committee, thank you for the opportunity to testify before you today on behalf of the National Restaurant Association and the Colorado Restaurant Association on the impact of the expanded 1099 reporting requirements on small business. My name is Dr. John Mark Eagleton. I'm a franchisee and owner of the Egg and I restaurant in Arvada, Colorado. I began in the restaurant industry when I was 14 years old, working as a busboy at International House of Pancakes to help pay my high school tuition. After that, I was with Arby's restaurants for 21 years, eventually serving as the general manager and CEO of Colorado's largest Arby's franchisee, the Bailey Company. When I left there 6 years ago, my wife, Sandy, and I decided to take a chance. We leveraged everything we had to open our own restaurant. I cashed out my 401k. I emptied my savings accounts. I sold my investments. I took out a second mortgage on my home. I just did everything I could to find every dime I could find. I even had my best friend chip in a small loan, and we opened our restaurant. And with the help of the Small Business Administration, obtained a 7A loan and began business in April of 2004. I cannot emphasize enough that we invested every dime we had in our business, and I am proud of what we built. We're a 133-seat restaurant open for breakfast and lunch from 6 a.m. to 2 p.m. every day. I have 26 employees, including my 2 sons and my adopted daughter. I love what I do, but every day I fight to succeed. I and my team of 22 know that if the restaurant succeeds, we all succeed. And if the restaurant fails, my family and I face financial ruin, and 22 families lose their source of income and their livelihoods. Any variable can tip the balance from being a growing concern to just another failed business. The added 1099 reporting requirements may sound simple to comply with, but mandating that I track all vendors from whom I purchase at least $600 in products or services each year and issue 1099s will be significant in both time and money. I work with 200 to 300 vendors a year. Generally, I pay in cash. For instance, every single day I go across the street to the grocery store and buy a fresh head of lettuce to put in my salad mix. Because if I buy it in bulk, it goes old before I can use it all. That lettuce costs $1.79. And if I do that 363 days a year for every day that I'm open, that exceeds the $600 total. So I now have to issue a 1099 for buying a head of lettuce every day. That's just ludicrous. The expanded 1099 requirement will force me to monitor all purchases like this one. In addition, I will need to buy new software, track down each vendor's tax ID number, their address, key in that information, compile the data into 1099s, print and mail forms to the vendors and to the IRS. And still the process is still unclear to me because I worry about the accuracy. What if my books don't agree with the vendor's records? How will we reconcile disagreements? Will I face fines if there's some sort of confusion? So to me, next comes a choice. I can either do the work myself or pay someone else to do it. I don't have the money to pay someone else to do it, so that means it falls on my shoulders. The past few years have been extremely challenging. For two years in a row, I've seen sales declines. The choice I make is, can I raise prices enough to cover the costs of doing all this? I don't think I can because I compete in a marketplace where my customers can easily go to my competitor. I'm also concerned about my guests. Almost every week, a local business networking group spends $80 for a meal at my restaurant. Once a month, a department from a local business comes in for a business lunch and spends $60 while they discuss workplace issues. They often pay in cash or by check. Will they continue to patronize my restaurant if they need to worry about 1099 requirements? In addition to the 1099 provision, I urge Congress to address the fundamental changes within the entire healthcare law. My written testimony details the deep and growing concerns of my industry. Please consider who is affected if a restaurant like mine shuts its doors. One server who has been with me since I opened, Danielle, put herself through nursing school with our company's help. One of my cooks, Jeff, has a wife and 2 kids, and she's a school teacher. I employ college students who work with me on the weekends. Their age group faces the highest unemployment rate in decades. I worry what they'll do if increased government regulations tip the scales and force me to close. I hope this committee will convey our concerns, and Congress will repeal the 1099 provision as soon as possible. The National Restaurant Association and the Colorado Restaurant Association look forward to working with you to revise health care laws generally. Thank you again, and I'd be happy to take your questions at the appropriate time.